All right, welcome back to the Generation Z podcast, episode 33. And today we're going to give you 7 ways to boost your motivation. So, obviously, motivation comes and goes. We can't always be 100% motivated all the time. But today's 7 tips are going to be ways which either on days that you're not really feeling it, you can implement them to make you more motivated, or just have them as a routine every day to keep you motivated. But before we get into that, if you do enjoy today's podcast, then follow or subscribe to us on whatever platform you're listening on. We do also have an Instagram page for more of this kind of content. If you want to go drop that a follow at _ the Generation Z. And we also have YouTube as well if you prefer to watch the podcast. But yeah, we'll jump straight in, mate. You can go.
Okay, so the first thing that we kind of want to stress is that obviously motivation does come and go, as Marcus said, but we need to realize that it's down to you and you need to take full responsibility for your life. So you're not really going to be getting much done in life if you're not willing to get out of bed and get started. You're just kind of delaying the action. So I think it's really important to hold yourself accountable, but also maybe have a close friend that also holds you accountable for what you want to do. So if you tell your friends quite a lot, like what you're planning on doing, and you're maybe not doing that exact thing that you keep telling your friends that you are doing, you need your mates to turn around and be like, wait, hold on a minute, like I thought you said you were going to do this, but you're not doing it. So that's really powerful, I think.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think another thing here is like we say it loads of times, but like you got to stop playing the victim card as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to lose weight and you don't have the motivation to lose weight, well, you got to take full responsibility. If you don't like the way you look in a mirror, that's because of choices you've made in the past which have led to where you are now. If you don't have enough money, or that's just how that's just kind of like your actions and thoughts towards money before that have led to you not having money. So
exactly,
if you're not happy with where you are, I mean, complain all you want. It's not going to get you anywhere though. So
exactly,
you just have to take full responsibility. And I'm very guilty of trying to pass the buck onto somebody else before. Like,
100%.
If I wasn't happy with something, it's just, it's always somebody else's fault. And then suddenly realise that, shit, it's actually down to me.
Exactly. And there's a lot of power in realising that, like now, if you have that mental switch that, right, I am responsible for everything in my life, no matter like how many people are around me helping me, they're dealing with their own stuff and they've got their own goals. Obviously you're helping each other out, and that's why I think it's good to have a friend who is accountable, not just as much as they're accountable for you, but you're also accountable for them. It's a two-way thing.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll jump in with point 1, which is plan. I'd say it can be used in different ways. So you can have motivation to achieve a goal, or you could literally just have motivation to get work done you need to do. And the first thing would just be like, plan the night before, write down what you want to do. So if it's a big goal, maybe write down a goal in a journal or something. If it's just stuff you need to get done the next day, get a diary, write down everything you need to do for the next day. And you can do that either before you go to bed or first thing in the morning. But it's so important because when you wake up, you know, right, I've got this and that to do today. When you're struggling to get out of bed, it's because you wake up and go, right, what do I need to get done today? Don't really know right now, so I'll probably just have another 15-minute snooze.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's with a plan, I think if you've got a goal in the long term, you're able to then make the correct steps, like daily steps, to then achieve that goal. So for example, if you want to lose a certain amount of pounds in 2 months, you'll know that you need to be hitting certain targets each week to then achieve that long-term goal.
Mm.
And you're not gonna, it's a lot easier if you're planning. Like, it's quite daunting, I think, when you have a goal but you just don't know how to achieve it. And
Yeah.
when you put it down on paper, it's a lot less stressful, and like you can see it visually, and then it just makes it easier for people, and it takes away the stress of just overthinking.
Yeah. I think another thing with like kind of planning your day out as well would be write down everything you need to do in a day, and then also write down, this is what I do anyway, write down the order in which I'm going to do it and try and get the hardest stuff done first. Because if you've got a whole list and you just think, right, I'll get all the easy stuff out of the way, then you realize like it gets to the evening and you don't really have the concentration, or you just kind of think, I'll leave it to tomorrow, and then you end up keeping it off. If you just wake up, get the hardest thing done out of the day, it's actually going to make you more motivated when you've got that thing done to complete all the other tasks anyway.
100%. Yeah, I think that's why we talk about establishing a morning routine.
Yeah.
I think a morning routine is so essential for getting in a flow state where you've ticked off those first couple of goals that you've got in the morning, and then you're in that zone of productivity, and then things will come up to you just naturally that you think that you can do right now, and then you'll get them done, and then you'll realize that because you're doing your goals at the start of the day, then you're just going to be productive throughout the whole day. And then again, you'll then get to the end of the day, you're tired for a reason, because you've been active and you've got stuff done. And then that's also about prioritizing sleep. So
Yeah.
kind of, it's not cool to go to bed early, but
you should.
What's cool nowadays?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's all subjective. Like if you go to bed at 10, you're not missing much during the night, let's be honest, and then you get up at 7 and then you're ahead of the game.
Exactly. And also just with that is like have fun trying to find motivation 4 hours sleep. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, sleep is so important.
Yeah, it is. So the second thing I wanted to speak about, the second way to boost your motivation, I'm going to attempt to say it. I think it's pronounced the Zeigarnik effect, which is basically just
I'd say that.
It's just named after the psychologist who found it, which is called Zeigarnik, and it's basically just called the just a few minutes rule. So our brains actually get anxious when we haven't finished a task. So if you start something and then stop, you'll kind of have it in the back of your mind, like a little urge to get it done. So if you want something done but don't actually want to do it, just start the task for a few minutes. And if it's something small, you'll usually find like, all right, I'll just start it. And once it's started, oh, it's just a small task, I'll just get out of the way. And something like tidying your room, if you tidy your desk or something, you start tidying away everything on your desk is clean, and you go, you know what, I might as well just like hoover the floor or something. Like, just get out of the way. And then also with larger tasks, you don't actually, if you don't finish at the time, just by starting it, you've kind of placed it in your mind and then feel the need to finish it. And something like that, which I actually did recently, was uni work. So I had a big coursework due. I couldn't be bothered to start it, because you just look at it and you just think,
that's just a typical quote from a third year student. Now we've both realised it, that
you look at it and you think, right, I've got a couple thousand words to write, and you just see it as a couple thousand words and it seems like a lot. But then I just spent 50 minutes just planning it out, and then the next day I was just like, right, at least I've got a bit of a plan. I can just continue that, continue day after day after day, and in the end got it done with like, I don't know, 2 weeks early. So
100%. I think the hardest thing is starting.
Yeah.
So once you've started, and as I said earlier in the other tip, getting in that flow state, once you're in that flow state, and as human beings, we're goal-striving beings. Like we're always giving ourselves goals to achieve, and then we're achieving it, and then we get gratification from that, and that's just our psychology. So if you start with a task, your subconscious mind is just gonna, as you said, it's gonna be in the back of your mind. You're just gonna be thinking about it an awful lot, and you're not gonna stop thinking about it until you've completed it.
Yeah, exactly. And another way is like, it doesn't just have to be work either. Like, it could be losing weight, as you said as well.
Yeah.
Like, if you're severely overweight and you think, oh, I've got all this weight to lose, I've got, I don't know, like 20 kg to lose. Just thinking I've got 20 kg to lose isn't really going to help you.
No.
And if anything, it's just going to stop you from starting. Whereas if you just stop thinking about how much weight you need to lose and just started dieting for a week, literally just say, I'm going to go on a diet for a week, right? After that week, you'll go, oh, I've dropped some weight. Oh, I might as well continue this.
Yeah. Or even just say, oh, I need to lose 1 pound.
Yeah.
And like,
once
you
you
think,
achieve
oh,
that,
1 pound, like, why would I even give that as an aim? But that's not the point.
Yeah.
It's the conscious effort to lose that pound, and then, as I said, getting that gratification from doing that, and then going twice as hard the next week and losing 3 pounds.
Yeah.
Then like, and then it just keeps ticking.
And once you've lost 1 pound, there's no reason you can't lose another pound. It's that simple. But the third way of boosting your motivation would be going public. And now, as you said in the beginning, you could get like somebody in your circle to hold you accountable. But as well as that would just be, instead of telling one person what you're going to do, maybe tell 3 or 4 friends, family, something like that. Because the greater the public declaration that you put out there of, I'm going to do this, the more motivation you have to achieve it. Because nobody 100%. Wants to be that person that goes, I'm going to do this, this and that. And then a couple of weeks, everybody goes, oh, did you do it? Nah, because kind of like ran out of time and I was just a bit tired. And
Again, no, it's like, they're not going to give in to your excuses, because like, and you shouldn't give in to your own excuses as well. I don't think it's like, as we said, it's about being accountable of yourself, and going public is actually such a great way in doing that. I think just telling people like what you're planning on doing. Like, you don't have to, we're not saying tell them every week. Like, just throw it out there, and it may be just like a conscious thing that you do, or not subconscious. It's just like a thing for you to do psychologically. So it's just throwing it out there, because now you're accountable for that. You've thrown that out there. People have understand it. So now you need to show them that you're actually about your talk. In that respect.
And don't get it like mixed up with you can't fail anymore. It's not about I'm telling people this so I can't fail. It's I'm telling people this so I like at least have to attempt it. Because if you fail at something, like, it doesn't matter what the fuck they say, like it's just how you deal with that. It doesn't matter if you failed or not. It just matters if you actually start it or just do something.
Exactly. And even if you don't want to go public, I'm nearly finished with David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me book. Pretty decent book, to be fair. And he basically brought up this concept of the accountability mirror. So if you don't want to go public with it, do it to yourself in the mirror. Tell yourself in the mirror like what your goals are, what you want to achieve. And if you're a week later and you haven't even started, then you've got to go back to that accountability mirror and be like, why haven't you started yet? Like, start now.
Actually.
So you don't have to go public. Like, obviously we're giving you ways, but you can switch it up. You can do whatever like kind of you want with it, but it's just, we're just trying to like hammer in the fact that you need to be accountable.
Yeah, definitely. And I think just with, like you said, with the mirror there as well, it also comes back to actually writing down your goals. And for me, at the start of the week, I'll write down all my goals for the week, and then at the end of the week, I'll look back. If I look and see that I haven't done something, I feel pretty guilty about it.
Yeah.
And during the week, I go, I know I don't want that guilty feeling, so I'm going to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, just starting off small, I think is good. Is just like setting small goals, and then when these little successes, these little wins, they're going to boost your motivation, and then you're going to be continuing to build that motivation week on week on week on week, and then you'll be in that flow state, and that's what you want to kind of be striving for.
Yeah, definitely. So the fourth way would be focusing on the benefits of achieving something rather than negatives. So think of how much better you'll feel once you've achieved the task rather than concentrating on how you'd feel if you failed the task. So again, if we're going back to losing weight, think of how good you're going to feel once you've lost that weight.
Yeah.
Think of maybe the clothes that you're going to fit into, the confidence that you're going to have. Think like that rather than think, oh, if I don't lose this weight, I'm still going to be fat. If I don't lose this weight, people are still going to judge me. Or it could be like a job. Think, if I get this promotion, I'm going to get more money. With more money, I get more freedom. Rather than think, if I don't get this promotion, I'm going to be stuck in this shitty job that I don't like. I'm going to be stuck on a shitty wage. So I think if you're thinking negatively like that and you're motivated by fear, I think the motivation just isn't as good.
No,
it's not as strong.
Yeah, 100%. I think a lot of people worry about the chance of failure before they've even given it a go, and that is what stops people from giving it a go.
Yeah,
It's
literally.
just that mental, it's just that mindset, really.
Yeah,
Because as human beings, we're risk averse. We don't want to do stuff that we know we could potentially fail at. But I think now is the time to have that mental switch and don't think about failure, because that's not gonna motivate you. As you said,
yeah,
the power of motivation through failure is nowhere near as strong as the motivation to succeed. You think about
yeah.
all the successful people on this earth, you don't hear them say they're motivated by failure.
No.
They're constantly motivated by wanting to be the best person possible in whatever they do. Like, I think I was watching a podcast that Stephen Gerrard was on. It was like it's like a high performance podcast by the guy who's a presenter for BT, and he
Okay.
basically says that he was just like obsessed to be the best person, like to succeed and be the best person on the pitch. And like when he got home and he thought that he wasn't the best person on the pitch, he would think about how he could be the best person for the next training session. And you see the
Yeah,
career that Steven Gerrard had. If you were to able to have that mindset, like you're gonna win.
yeah. And like as you just said, the craziest thing I think is like success or overcoming fear or anything like that is literally just a mindset. And that's why I think just reading
Yeah,
and self-development is so important, because literally if you just change the way that you think, like you can change so much for yourself. It's
I know.
like literally just by flipping a switch in your mind. But yeah, I'm kind of going off on a tangent. But
No,
I thought
that's all
it's
right.
just an important point, I think. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
100%.
So the fourth way to boost your motivation would be breaking a goal down into specific and time-based sub-goals. So if you just look at a big goal that you have or a big project, it's going to be probably quite intimidating. You don't know where to start. So again, like uni work or something like that, you just see that you've got a 3,000 word essay to do,
Yeah,
and you just think, right, this just isn't happening. But then you break it down into sub goals, like, right, I'm going to plan. Then day one, I'm going to write this bit. Day two, I'm going to write this bit. Or it could be you want to change job. All right, I'm going to apply for this many weeks. I'm going to go to interviews this week. Like, break it down into sub goals. Because obviously, if you just go, I'm going to change career, like, good luck.
It's so daunting, and then that intimidation just doesn't make you want to do it at all. So you just never start it. You know more than I do. Like, we've got a lot of mates that probably leave their assignment until a couple of days before the deadline, because it's like, I don't want to start it because it's so daunting, but it gets too late, and then you're just stressing.
Becomes even more daunting.
And then it's just absolute chaos, and you're just like, I wish I even started this 2 weeks earlier, because it would have given you a bit of a chance.
Yeah, literally. And I think another really important thing here when you're doing these sub goals is actually to put a time limit on them as well. If you put a time limit on it, then it gives you a reason to actually do it. If you just say, again, like, I'm going to change career, well, that's great. In 3 years' time, you haven't really failed. But that's because there was no time limit on it. If you go, I want to do this by this time, then you're more actually likely to go, right, I think I've got 3 weeks. I need to do this by then, need to do this by then, and I'm going to achieve that in 3 weeks. I think. Very important thing.
100%.
You can go into last one, mate.
Okay, mate. So the last one is, I think we talked about it kind of in another podcast, but it's just about delaying gratification. So we're going to go on the subject, for example, of masturbation. We covered it in our another podcast, but masturbation drains you of so much energy that you could be using to get tasks done. You just know, like, if you bash one out, and then you're basically done for the day. You have no reason to get up, do you really? So, and it's just, and that's it's an awful way to kind of live, because if you're doing that every day, like, you're feeding the addiction, but then you're also not doing anything as a product of that.
Literally.
So it's such as we mentioned in that podcast, it's probably the worst thing you can do with your life, because it's like it affects it in so many negative ways.
Yeah, like, obviously we're talking like excessive or just like every day, anything like that. Like, enjoy yourself as much as you want. Like, I'm not like, you do you, mate. But just have a limit, all right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I think delaying gratification kind of goes for a lot of things as well. Like, maybe if you want to have a smoke in the evening, or maybe if you want to have a couple of drinks in the evening, well, what have you actually done to deserve that, though? Why are you getting this? Why are you getting the benefits of these things when you haven't really done anything to deserve it? So if you want to go out to the pub in the evening, all right, that gives you the whole 8 hours during the day to get stuff done, rather than just go, I'm going pub in the evening, so I'm just going to sit here and count down the hours until I go pub. Like, why don't you use that gratification that you're going to get from something else to actually motivate you to do the task?
Yeah, I think the power of delayed gratification is way better than, like, the short-term gratification that you get from doing as what we've talked about. I think if you just set yourself the goal to have delayed gratification, then, as you said, there's a meaning behind achieving, because most of stuff now, let's be honest, like, we're in a day and age, in a world where everything is just conveniently given to us, and it's so short term. I think when Courtney came on the podcast, what did he say? It was like a microwave mindset. And I think that is just so true.
Such a good term.
It's such a good term, because it's like, you get things so quickly now.
Literally.
You have no reason to want to achieve anything, because everything's just been given to you on the plate.
Yeah, literally. I was thinking about this earlier actually. You got instant gratification from social media. You go on there, either you get like a dopamine rush from just going on there or seeing other people's stories, whatever. You also get dopamine rush from all the likes. Like likes and followers is literally the perfect form of instant gratification. You whack up a photo and get 50 likes. You think you've
Mm.
done something really good.
Couple of
When
comments, yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean. And then also like where I live, there's fast food, literally 2 minute walk away. Again, if I want instant gratification and like a dopamine
Hmm.
rush from that, I can go get it.
Yeah,
Smoking, drinking, easy access to porn, everything is literally just like so close and so accessible that I think like kind of I don't know how to say it, like taking advantage of all of that kind of stuff just doesn't really give you much self discipline or drive.
mate,
It,
that's the perfect way to describe it,
yeah,
100%. And as we said earlier, I think motivation and drive are different things that we can naturally have a drive to achieve stuff. Like I'd say personally that I just have a personal drive within me to go out and get shit done.
mm,
But there are days when my motivation, like today and yesterday, I haven't done any form of physical activity today or yesterday because I just haven't been motivated, and that's all right. But it's about having that mental switch of then getting on the bandwagon the next day and being like, right, I do need to do shit. So,
yeah,
and just getting back on it straight away, I think.
100%, mate. But that's us been through all 7 points. I don't know if you've got anything else to add. Any
No, I
final
don't think
comments?
so. I think, yeah, as I just said there about the drive and motivation, like,
Mm,
and just in general, if you're able to just start now, you'll thank yourself later. You will. You'll thank yourself for starting, and
yeah,
it doesn't
literally.
matter how small the start is. As we said, it was like, don't think about if you want to lose weight. Don't think that you have to lose 5 kg. Think, right,
Yeah,
I have to lose 1 pound. Like if you want to start reading, oh, I have to read for an hour. No, mate, you can read 2 pages.
yeah. It's
And
better than nothing.
it's just about starting and then getting in that flow state. And then once you're in that flow state, it's not going to feel like a burden to get started. You're going to wake up with a purpose, and you're going to get up and know what you want to do, and you're going to get it done. So yeah, just one major tip would just to be start now.
Perfect, mate. I think that's a perfect way to end the podcast there. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, and again, follow, subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to us on.
Hmm.
But I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.